Hey, what's up guys? Today we are going to take this truck and go put on some highway miles. I've been driving it around town a bit, been out on the highway a couple of times, but I've got to run to Vancouver and pick up a load of stuff, and I figure what the heck, I might as well bring you along for a drive. So let's go. Okay, well, for the most part, this truck is ready to go. I can hop in and drive. Everything's running quite well. Lots of quirks still, but really coming along pretty good. A couple of things, though. I cannot sit on that seat anymore, so I have got to throw a new one in there. Another thing, the radiator has been leaking. I just got a new one in yesterday, so I'm going to throw that in. And really looking forward to hitting the highway and spending some time behind the wheel in this. You know, now that it's got an alignment done and there's just so many aspects of it that are working better, I'm also probably going to stop at Cummins and grab a new vacuum pump seal kit. Hopefully they got one in stock. And yeah, anyways, it should be good. Hit the road, do some mileage tests, and you know, just go see some scenery and spend some time listening to that old Cummins rumbling down the road. You know, looking at this, I have to say I'm pretty surprised that it's not working that great anymore. Look at that thing. As far as I know, original radiator, 420 some odd thousand kilometers. I'm sure they have lasted longer. I've had it in and out in a few times, which might have jostled it a little bit, but anyways, it is time for one of these. Ideally, I would like to be going to a much better radiator. I was initially thinking a Mishimoto. I almost ordered one, but my old pal recommended the cold case radiators. Very intriguing, not that easy to get in Canada. When I rebuilt this truck, I definitely did not plan on putting this radiator back in, but the reality is when I had to rebuild the engine, get new pistons, you know, get the deck blocked again and bore it out and blah blah blah, I mean, that just kind of chewed up every last bit of budget I had. So this one, that other one lasted a while. This truck actually runs quite cool. I'm living in an area that's a lot hotter now and stuff, but we're gonna give this a try for now. And at some point we will, you know, have a look at getting one of those cold case radiators and maybe sell this one used or something. But anyways, I got her and let's put it in. All right, that is it. The seat is coming out. Oh my God, this thing has been so annoying to deal with. No! This seat frame does not fit. I guess an extended cab one is different. The truck that I took this out of doesn't have the quad cab opening doors on the back, so I thought I would have been okay. Oh, that sucks. I probably will be able to take the actual seat and bolt it to the stock frame, but yeah, I guess I'm not done with that other seat just yet. Okay, once again, just unforeseen problems. I really did not see this one coming. The distance between these two mounting points is just completely different than these two here. The way the seat bolts to the frame, one bolt here, one bolt here, is completely different. This side is one bolt there, one bolt there. It doesn't have that one off to the side, so yikes. Yeah, dang it. I don't think that seat's going in there anytime soon. These two rivets here, I'm hoping that I can sort of grind those off, remove this seat bracket, put the taller and longer one in from that electric seat, and maybe just weld it up. Totally sucks, but to be continued. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. So I'm actually just remembering that there were 2 or 3 other single cab trucks there. Possibly because this is an electric seat, I doubt those other 2 are electric. So maybe I can go get the frame off of those or something like that and combine this all. I'm sure there's a solution. It would have been nice to have this done today, but you know, it is what it is. So anyways, I'm just gonna load up some stuff and it's almost time to hit the road. So I forgot to show you guys yesterday, but I got the new radiator in. Everything's all bolted up and good to go. I took it for a bit of a drive last night and nothing seems to be leaking. The truck is running very cool, which it always has run on the cool side. It's been very rare situations where it started to heat up. I was going up a really low speed hill, really steep hill, kind of zigzagging up a mountain through this community, and it was summertime, air conditioning on, all that kind of stuff, and that's the only time I've ever seen the temp gauge climb. So anyways, it'll be interesting to see out on the mountain roads today. It should be snowy up there and stuff, and I would imagine this thing will be running pretty cool, but hopefully that'll be my friend when it's summertime and super hot. So anyways, just gonna get the truck ready and time to hit the road. Okay, well, I'm just filling up right now. I'm going to do a bit of a mileage test today, and I'm going to use the same method as my pals at Fast Lane Truck, where they let it fill till it clicks, count to 30, and fill it again till it clicks, and then we'll do the same in Hope. Diesel prices are pretty nasty right now, $1.99 a liter. I will do the conversion to what that is per gallon in US dollars, but it is pretty bad. Okay, now I'm just going to reset this. I'm actually not sure how accurate the speedometer is in this truck. I think it's pretty accurate, possibly because I re-geared it, or maybe it's just buggered up, but I don't think it's off by much. So I will compare that against Google Maps from this gas station to the gas station in Hope. All right, let's go. I don't seem to have any major oil leaks. There's a bit of light dripping coming out there. Overall, the truck has been running great. This is one of my favorite parts of the drive. Merritt is just over that hill there. When you're coming from the coast and it's just relentless green forest and big trees, and you start getting into this grassy sort of mountainy country, it is just beautiful. Absolutely love it here. Forgot to mention too, I was driving along, this piece of trim blew off and hit the window, and man, did that ever scare me. This window needs to get replaced anyways, so I'm not super worried about it. I'm just gonna kind of shuffle it back on there, and good enough for now. Okay, there we go, got that all tucked back in. All right, well, let's get back at her. The scenery around the Merritt area is really beautiful. I'm gonna do a bunch of exploring around here and make some videos coming up. Sorry, this window really needs to get replaced. It had a crack, and we got into some really cold temperatures this winter, and it just exploded. I really need to get this replaced. Anyways, absolutely beautiful area around here. I like to break this trip up into about 3 sections. You've basically got the connector, which goes from Kelowna to Merritt over there. Then you've got the Coquihalla, which kind of goes from Merritt to Hope. And then you've got the Fraser Valley, which is an incredibly busy, crowded road. Often big rigs, 10 feet off your bumper when the flow of traffic's going, 10 or 15 over. It's really can be pretty intense at times. But anyways, It's a nice drive and an absolutely beautiful day. I would have thought it was a lot colder than this, considering it was snowing just the other day over in that direction by the Coquihalla there. Very beautiful up here. I'm just right before a very steep downhill chunk called the Smasher. Beautiful. I saw a bunch of snowmobile tracks just on the other side of this hill when I was driving over, so man, it is such a nice day. Alright, well, we're here filling up in Hope. This is kind of a cool little town, extremely mountainous all around. See up there? This is actually where Rambo First Blood was filmed, and we're going to see the damage and how much we burned to get here. Okay, count to 30. Alright, counted to 30. Okay, so that was $70 and 35.185 liters. I will put the mile per gallon on there. Look at those mountains up there. Man, it is so steep around here. That drive, we went up and down, a lot of elevation. I am really curious to see how we did for mileage. The next stretch of road is pretty much flat and straight down through the Fraser Valley into Vancouver. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that test. I gotta go to Cummins and pick up a new vacuum pump seal kit, and gonna grab some different tires for the Dakota, but we'll fill the truck up again and compare mileage. Another 7.254 liters in 79, basically 80 kilometers. All right, well, I have to just jump in here. I am editing the footage. I've added all the numbers and stuff like that up. I cannot believe that the truck was getting well over 26 miles per gallon. That is just insane. I'm trying to wrap my head around why that could be. I'm going to have to do some more testing. Possibly there's some sort of factor at play. Maybe one of the pumps, pumped diesel in quicker and it foamed up, or I have no idea. But yeah, that's pretty insane. I was thinking that maybe the elevation difference, because Hope is a little bit downhill to Abbotsford, but I just checked the elevation on both of those and it's basically the same. I think Hope was 41 meters and Abbotsford was 38 meters. Yeah, that is just bananas good mileage. I would have been happy with anything over 20. I would have been ecstatic with anything over 20. So I will do some more testing, but that distance number was off of Google Maps. It was 82 kilometers. My odometer said 79.8, so it's actually not that far off. But anyways, yeah, it is what it is. Apparently the truck gets 26 miles per gallon on flat roads doing 60 miles an hour. That is just nuts. And then I'll also say I got 16 miles per gallon going from Kelowna to Hope. I hit every single light on the way out of town. There was probably 10 times I had to stop and get going. And never once was I doing it like a gentleman. It was always, you know, briskly accelerating. In addition to that, you go up, I think over 4,000 feet of elevation to the top of Pennask Summit, and then you go down and up and down and up and all that kind of stuff. So even that 16 is actually pretty good. And realistically speaking, you know, with mileage tests, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, because even if the truck can get amazing mileage, I'm not really driving like that for the most part, so who cares? But just as a method of being able to compare with other vehicles and stuff, I have to say I'm pretty impressed with that. I think the reasons that are maybe helping me is I went to 411s from 355s, but in order to keep the stock ratio, I would have had to go to 430s. So we're definitely running lower highway RPMs. Also, I've got the free spin hubs, which apparently must be helping. So anyways, yeah, I have to say overall, super impressed with that mileage out of that truck. You know, a 3-inch lifted truck with 37-inch tires, and thing weighs a ton, and it's a dually, so it's not very aerodynamic, and yeah, just amazing. All right, well, the old girl made the trip just fine here in Vancouver now. I got these tires that I'm going to put on the Dakota. I actually had a set of those. Actually, I just had 2 on the front of the Dakota for a short amount of time. I got some for free. Unfortunately, the sidewalls were a little bit buggered up, so I just got rid of them and bought those ones that I currently have, the Michelin LTX Defender M&S. Anyways, these are not a performance tire, but this is the first set of tires that I ever experienced that actually felt like a performance kind of set, like compared to the truck tires and BF Goodrich and whatever's that I've been on my whole life of owning trucks. These were pretty impressive. Now, there's still an M&S tire. I get that any summer tire is probably going to do better, but the handling is so bad with those current tires that I have, and possibly some of that is to do with the tire pressure in the fronts for sure being a bit too low. I pumped them up a bit and it seemed to help, but every time I crank the steering wheel, it just wants to slide. Every time I stomp on the gas, it just wants to spin the rear tires. So I get that a lot of that is control and skill that I don't have. You know, I get that. But when I had these on the front of the Dakota, it was unreal how much better it felt. I bought these for super cheap. I got these for $100. And it was actually part of the reason that I drove back to Vancouver. So between this and a bunch of other stuff I got to pick up. So really looking forward to getting these on the Dakota and, you know, getting back after the autocross thing and giving it another try. Okay, so the next interesting thing I was going to tell you guys about, this is one of the stock tires that came on the truck. These things are 215 85 R16s. These are, I got 2 that are in pretty comparable shape. They're still pretty passable. The sidewalls aren't checked or anything like that. Of the 6 that came on the truck, these 2, there's another one just like it, are by far the best. And I've been wanting to do this for a while. I am going to go back to the dyno and with just one of these on each side. These are a bit smaller than the standard tire a guy's going to have on his truck, but I want to see how much power am I losing by having 37-inch duals. Now, this doesn't really matter because I'm not going to be going to these, so obviously who cares, but it would be kind of funny to see. The guy running the dyno, he figured it would probably be about 50 horsepower I was losing. I would guess it's probably more than that, but I'm sure he knows better than me. But anyways, I think that'd be a pretty fun test to go do. And speaking of dyno stuff, I've just ordered a new V-band clamp for that leaky turbo boost elbow, I think it is. I don't know why I had one that was too big on there. They might have sent the wrong one in the kit, or maybe I got something mixed up, but anyways, I got a new one ordered, so I'm going to pick that up when I get back to Kelowna. Okay, and then another little tidbit of information is I just stopped at Cummins today and picked up this vacuum pump seal kit, and hopefully that is going to fix that oil leak that came up when I was on the dyno. So I was actually pretty surprised when that truck was leaking oil like crazy. I thought it was maybe out of the tappet cover. Thank God it wasn't, because that thing is a pain to get at. But I bought a Dorman I'm not bad-mouthing the brand or the kit or whatever. Maybe there was a malfunction with it or something, but I bought a seal kit for my vacuum pump. It wasn't leaking in the first place. I was going through everything. I just thought, okay, let's just redo it and you know, give it another life. Huge mistake. I never should have touched it when it wasn't leaking in the first place. But anyways, I followed a really good video from Thoroughbred Diesel. You know, followed it step by step and all that. It was leaking a bit. I was having some problems with it. Finally got it sealed up, and then once I put all that boost through, you know, added up at 73 pounds of boost or whatever, it did not like that and was just leaking like crazy. It wasn't leaking under normal driving, but whenever I got into some serious boost, you would see some oil dripping from below. So anyways, that has now translated into leaking all the time when it's running. So the funny thing about that kit is I didn't even think to go to Cummins. You know, a lot of stuff I go to them, it's often about double the price of you know, a comparable item, so I'm not there that much. But when it came to something like a new oil pump for the engine, or, you know, rod bolts or whatever, you know, I was going and getting stuff like that. But anyways, I didn't even think to go there when I bought that kit. Paid 90 bucks for the Dorman one, and as somebody just commented recently, and thank you by the way, the Cummins ones aren't even that expensive. I just picked this up for 30 bucks today, so I feel like such an idiot that I could have had genuine Cummins for a third of the price of what I paid. It's usually the other way around. So anyways, I will get that installed when I get home, and hopefully we will be back to a leak-free 12 valve. That really didn't last very long. Another thing that I didn't mention is I upgraded. I put in a new tranny dipstick tube with the boot style recently, and so that has sealed up that leak, because that had also started to go again. But anyways, she's coming along. Okay, next up is the Xterra. I haven't started this thing or been in it since I think in November. This thing is just steady Eddie. I unhooked the battery when I parked it, just hooked it right up, and almost guarantee this thing will just fire right up. There you go. 6 months, I think, since it ran. 5 or 6 months for sure. Bam, first crank, starts right up. I know this isn't the most popular vehicle on the channel, but man, this thing has been so good to me. You know, it's pretty darn good off-road. It is a stock vehicle without lockers, so I mean, you're gonna find your limits pretty quick, but man, I've had this thing for 12 years now, other than basic maintenance, you know, and a couple of little items. I threw a fuel pump and a distributor in it because it had been parked for years, barely ever run, and I ran the tank, I think, pretty close to dry, so I think just with it sitting still, I would start it up every once in a while, and that was terrible on the fuel pump, and then the distributor just didn't like sitting around. But really considering bringing this thing back up to Kelowna in the next month or so, and going out and using it. I just, I don't know, I got such a soft spot for this vehicle. I just love it. Nothing fancy, just an old 3.3 liter V6, and it just runs, it starts every time. This thing has been so good to me, you have no idea. Other than being a total pig on gas, it has just been such a great vehicle. Also, this is that bumper that I made for it. It's got some tree stuff on it from some 4x4 I was doing. Whether or not you love the look of it, this was a huge metalworking project for me. Yeah, I have to say, I really would like to get into this project and build it. I still have these axles. These are out of a 2001 Dodge Ram 2500 with a Cummins in it. I guess that would be a 24 valve. This is a Dana 60 front and a Dana 70 rear. These things would be just pure beef on this Xterra with 40-inch tires. I definitely want to do that. Alright, and then next up I have got a divorced NP205. As you can see, this has yokes for all of the outputs and inputs, so rather than connecting directly to a transmission. So the nice thing about this is I can just run a short drive shaft out of my current transfer case, you know, connect it to one of these, and then this is a driver's side drop, just like this Dana 60 here, so it would be absolutely perfect. And then I still have the rear leaf springs out of my truck. I think there's some other ones, some single ones sitting over in the pile. but I was thinking I could put these on the back of the Xterra, you know, pull a couple leaves out or whatever it needs, and then take the leaves from the rear of the Xterra and put them on the front, stretch the wheelbase probably 4 inches forward and 8 inches back to move it up to about a 116 wheelbase from 104 where it's at, and that should help clear the 40-inch tires. So I've got all this stuff ready to go. I just kind of need to jump in and do it. So between this and the Dakota, I don't know what's the next project, but you guys let me know. Is this something you want to see get going, or what would you like? Yeah, I will tell you, I kind of miss this old Xterra. I would love to have this thing on 40s. I think it would be such a fun project. It's just always been so good to me. Such a simple vehicle. It's got no power, terrible on gas. Probably a good candidate for a V8 swap at some point, but for now, if I could go 717 gears in those axles there, have that other transfer case going, this thing would be an absolute rock crawling machine with 40-inch tires on it. I would imagine, you know, if I was able to go lockers in those axles, get some coil, well, I guess I wouldn't need coilovers, but get some shocks, that'll be good. And probably the steering would need some sort of upgrade, but yeah, you know, I mean, this thing could be a rock crawling machine pretty quick. The biggest problem with that build is that, you know, I've got a tiny little garage. It's even for a one-car garage, it's pretty small. And I think maybe right now I'm going to focus on the Dakota. I actually ordered a lowering kit for it. That'll be in a few weeks, so I won't have it for the next autocross event, but hopefully the one after that. So that'll be nice. I'm going to lower it down 3 inches. It's a very simple, basic, very entry-level method of lowering it. I'm just going to cut the front coils and put some lowering blocks in the rear, but that should hopefully you know, get me closer to something that actually handles. The way the autocross stuff works is it's kind of like golf, where there's a bit of a handicap where you get time added or subtracted based on your car and the setup and the engine and how wide the tires are. I don't really know all about it, but I know that I don't think my Dakota is helping me out any. I think I get dinged for the V8, and also it's got some sort of chip on it. I don't even know if it's adding power or what it does, but they have to count that as well. So what I'm going to do for this year is I was about 9.5 seconds off the fastest lap of the day. So that was a 49.7, and my best lap was a 59.2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and have some sort of improvement to the Dakota every time I head out, whether that be better tires or lowered or urethane bushings or different shocks or whatever. And throughout the year, I'm just going to try and chip away at that. It's probably you know, fairly constant how much better everybody else is than me. So you know, skill level is obviously a big part of it. But the next autocross event, if I could be maybe instead of 9.5 seconds off the best time, maybe 8.5 or 8, something like that, and just keep trying to pick away at it. And for now, that's what I'm going to focus on. Not really the competition aspect of it and all that kind of stuff, because I don't think I'm really going to be that competitive, but I do want to try and get better at driving. And whether the Dakota gets turned into just a good handling daily driver, or if I really go after it and try and turn it into a handling machine, you know, I'm just going to keep picking away at it and use that how far off I am from the best lap of the day as just my benchmark for if I'm getting better. So anyways, thanks for coming along. The last week has been super crazy. In the last 7 days, I've been skiing 4 days and was out of town for a couple days, so sorry not much videos going on, but we will be jumping right back into all sorts of truck stuff and everything else this next week, so stay tuned, and please like, subscribe, and give me a thumbs up and ring the bell and all that kind of stuff, and we will see you on the next one.